Um, I'm really happy that everybody is here. My name is Gerri Sharpe. I am originally from Haven. My mother is Moti Kacholik. My grandfather is Girin Kacholik, and I'm sure many Inuit will know both of them. I was born here in Yellowknife. Um, I went to, I've lived all over Canada, including Nova Scotia, Toronto, Edmonton. Um, most of my adult life was in Inuvik, over 22 years up there, and I've recently, well, I've made Yellowknife my home 7 years ago, and I have been beading for some time. I'm self-taught. Um, if I like something, I find a way to learn how to make it. I also do um, quite a bit of sealskin um, products. If you look over there, you're going to see piles of fur. um, so I also have lots of beads. I have lots of skins. Um, so today we're going to make ulu earrings. I really like these. They're cute. They're quick and easy to make. We're going to be using what's called a Peyote Stitch. And I know a lot of you will have some thread or beading thread, but I'm going to show you a cheat. And if you've got your thread, we're only going to need about 1 meter of it. I cut mine a little bit longer, and you're probably going to be, it's going to be longer than we need, but that's okay. Actually, I'm going to trim this one down. It's too long. If you do not have beading thread, you can use nylon. And you see this here, this is a piece of just regular wax. And you've seen people use this before like this. And basically, the only reason why you do this is to stop it from fraying. And that's why people will use beading thread that is already waxed, and it'll stop it from fraying. Other things that you can make with peyote is a peyote stitch, is things like this, but you can also do this in the brick stitch. We're going to start. I guess before I start, does anybody have any questions about me that they want to know before we start?
I don't see any questions, but I will put the Peyote Stitch graph in the chat box as well.
Perfect.
And the progressions. I know you have them on your beading station there, but that's awesome. I'll post a picture as well. Thank you.
Okay. So you're going to see what's most difficult about this is the fact that you're starting right in the middle. And that can be confusing because it's starting with only 3 beads. You see there in the middle? I use these 2 darker ones as markers for where I am. So I'm planning my main colors. My ulu is going to be gray, right here with these. The handle will be brown. I'm going to do the background in white, and I did have, oh, you don't need to only use those colors. You can play with the colors. Whoops. See? It looks really striking against black as well. And even doing the ulus in different colors is really neat as well. So I've got my beading my beading thread ready. What you need to do is pick up 3 beads that you want the color of your ulu. Well, first we're only going to pick up one bead. And the reason why you're only picking up one, I need to pin this can we pin the this one here, Paige?
Yes, it should be pinned now. Does
Oh,
everybody
I'm
see?
seeing myself.
Oh,
There we go.
both.
Yay.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're only going to use one bead in here. And the reason why we're doing just one bead is because I want you to go back up through it. This is not a knot. Is muted. And I want you to make that go like that. Of course, it's not going to focus in the right place. So I've gone back up through there so that it's almost like a knot. Maybe if I go here. So now it's not moving. And the reason why you're doing that is because that's kind of going to be like the knot. There we go. Then you're going to add 2 more beads. And this is in the gray. So now it looks like this. And then you're going to go back up right through the first one. So just that first one. So now this is what you're going to end up with. A little triangle.
Does anybody want to give like a thumbs up if you're at this stage yet? Thumbs down?
Or if you have difficulty. This next part in what we're going to do is going to be a little confusing because this is where we're going to put in the 2 spots. And keep in mind that that loose piece here is going to be used as your marker as well. The center piece of it. We're going to do this next, and you'll see that those two eye beads are close together. So your next step is that you're going to pick up 2 beads. Your first bead is the color of your ulu. Your second bead is the color of the handle. So that it looks like that. And it's almost like going in a circle. So what we're doing now is we're progressing on each side by 2 or by 1 bead. And we're going to put that through the next bead. So let's see if I can see this properly. You see there? So now this is what that looks like.
Gerri,
Yes.
it's Keely. I'm not too sure where, I've got my 2 on my thread, but where do I feed it back through?
Okay. So when we look at, so this is what that looked like before I put the needle through.
Yeah.
And then when I put the needle through there, it's the next hole in the same direction that your thread was going. So I'm going to take this apart again so that I can show it. Because this is the part this is the tricky part. So right now, if I hold this like this,
Yep.
you'll see that the beads go in the next hole in the direction of the thread. So this here, I need to go like this. So you see, that's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to go through that one.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
You see it now?
Yeah, Nakamik.
Uh-huh.
All right. Good. Thank you.
Now this, like I said, this can be the difficult spot because you're needing to progress. So the next two that we're going to pick up, your first bead is going to be the color of the handle, which is the brown. And then the second bead is going to be the color of the ulu, gray. So again, this is where you see it. I'm trying to do this while I look at my camera at the same time. And you're going in the next one that's right beside that hole. Do you see where this thread is coming out? And then you're going to go in there. This is where the thread is coming out. And then you're going directly right in there. Anybody have any questions about that one? The next two that you add on, and often what I'll do with this part that's hanging, I will actually hold that as an anchor because you do want these to be firm, but not tight.
Oh, okay. So where is your second, let's say the handle color?
It's coming up next.
Once you've threaded the last two beads?
So this is what it looks like before I add the two new beads that'll complete this circle.
Okay, I got something wrong here.
Can you put it up in your window or put it on the screen and let me see if I can look. And I guess I need to know who I'm talking to as well.
Okay.
There you go.
I've got gold and black. Gold for the ulu and black for the handle. So I've only got, I think, 5 beads in there right now.
Yes. So you're next going to do, the next one that you're doing is the handle color and the ulu color. So that the two brown ones are next to each other. If you look at this one here.
So the sequence, the next sequence for like beads 6 and 7 is going to be the handle color and then the main ulu color?
Yes.
Okay, that's where I got.
So there it is right there.
That's where I got it wrong.
What we're going to be doing at this stage, where to go? And I haven't done the last two yet, so not everybody's is going to look like this.
We have a question from Peggy.
Okay.
She's saying after the center, first 3 beads to complete the first circle, then you pick up one of the same color.
One ulu, one handle color.
Sounds good. Does that make sense, Peggy? Thumbs up. Yeah. Okay.
So now the next 2 that you pick up that'll finish this are going to be two ulu color. So for me, that's 2 gray. And now I'm going to really confuse the heck out of everybody because when you put this through next, I want you to put them through if you look here, literally you're going to put it through 2 beads because this will complete the circle. And this will be the rule of thumb at the end of every circle that we do as we're going around. You see how it's through two? I've got two beads that I'm going through here. And when I pull this straight, and you will need to like fill around with it so that it gets nice and flat. This is what it'll look like. So now you've got 9 beads in total with 6 going around. Actually, let's have a look at what you have here, Paige.
Those are the ones that I shared with you before.
Yeah.
The Peyote Stitch graph and stuff.
Oh, okay. So that, yeah, that I thought that was pictures of these ones.
I also sent the progression photo, and then I'll send a finished photo as well.
Oh, that is perfect. I like that. Now let's see if I can share. See all photos. Now, I want everybody to know that this part can be the most confusing part as we're starting. So before we go on next, I'd like to make sure that everybody is at this stage correctly. And if you have any questions.
I never got it. Sandra.
Okay, can you show me yours, Sandra?
Yeah.
I'm looking for your name on top. There you are. Let me hold it still. It's not flat. I want to take my finger and I want to put it flat. Yeah. Okay, so take it apart back to the last 3 beads so that if you're at this stage, and this is going to be the very Inuk way of doing things. If it's not right, take it apart. Go back to this stage. This is the stage that we're wanting to go to. Whoops. So the first 2 that you do, come on. Okay, this wants to be on my hand. This is what it will look like.
Esther, we can see yours, but it's a little blurry. I don't know if you have to like tap your screen to focus it or what's
And it looks like you put 2 the same color, Esther. It's sticking up.
Can you make it flat? There we
Yeah,
go.
flat.
Yeah.
Yep, that looks okay. That looks okay. So, and you're using seed beads, correct? Okay. So I guess what I should have also said to people is I'm using Delica beads, which when you look at this here, you see that it appears to be flat because seed beads or Delica beads are actual tubes that are cut. And that's why they appear to be flat. Where seed beads, I've got a bag of them here. These ones are seed beads, and they're circles. So they can be a little bit more difficult to work with because they want to roll towards the thread, where the Delica beads, they sit nice and flat. And there's nothing, it's all preference about what you want to use with seed beads or Delica beads. For the purpose of making these, I find Delica beads are easier to work with. Seed beads may turn out to be a better look. And actually, you know what? So when you look at seed beads, something that's done with a seed bead, you can actually feel the circles. But when you are working with Delica beads, it's almost flat like paper. You don't feel the edges at all. And Esther, you're using seed beads, correct? Is anybody else having problems with this area? Because we have 2 hours, we have time to make sure that everybody's at this stage.
Hi, this is mine. Yeah, I'm having trouble.
I'm gonna,
Okay, let's have a look.
Okay.
Press the bottom one. Yeah.
Oh, I tried to take it back and I'm making it worse. Second out, I'm trying to get this back. It's really bad. I think I need to start over.
Yeah, and at this point where you're at the very beginning, you can just start over. I would cut right there and take it apart.
Okay, sounds good to me. And I have seed beads and I just ordered them and they seem even bigger than the other beads that I have.
There are different sizes.
Yeah.
I work with size 10 and size 11. That will make a difference. So you should use the same size bead for the Ulus that you're making.
Okay, so how do I start again? I take 2 of the white, was it?
I'm gonna follow you. I got Delicas now.
Okay. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to start over with all of you again as well.
I might try, maybe I'm going to try some different beads, I think, because I had some here. Just be a sec.
Well, this part is worth repeating for everybody because this is the difficult part, is getting started. Once it's started, it's super easy.
Okay, I'm going to pick out these beads really quickly.
So if you join late, we're going to be starting again. And I really don't mind doing this because I want to make sure that you have it right. I like, oh, look, that's me. I can't see myself.
Okay, I need one more card.
So if you're starting over again, you're literally going to take one bead on here.
Okay.
And then you're going to come back through it again. So leave a tail about that much.
Which bead was it?
This is the Ulu bead.
The Ulu
color bead.
Okay.
And then you're going to go back up through the Ulu bead, the one bead itself. So that you have it like this. And somebody asked about the Ulu bracelet pattern. I can share that later. Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting hot.
Once you've got your one bead on there like this and you've gone back through it, kind of like we're not using knots, so this is considered to be the knot.
All right.
Then
How do
you're,
I go on top?
pardon me?
Sorry, I'm trying to get your, sorry, I'm just trying to get your iPhone on my screen.
Oh, okay. So this is the one bead. Then you're taking up 2 more beads of the ulu color. And you're adding those to that. Now that you've got 3 beads on there, you're going to come up back through the first one only. So you're coming up to that first bead, only that one. Why is it focusing only on my thumb and not the beads? So when we come back up through here and you're hanging on to the tail end of it, it's going to look like a little triangle.
Put something behind it to make it focus.
Okay.
Like something clear.
Yeah, it doesn't want to focus still on that.
You see my one?
So this is what the 3 will look like. A
I'm
little
muted.
triangle. You see that little triangle?
No.
And
Yep.
these spaces that are in there in between the beads, those 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, that's where we're going to put 2 more beads through each one. So when I put on the next 2 beads, it's going to first be the color of the ulu and then the color of the handle. So color of the ulu and color of the handle. And you're going to put that through right there. So you see the automatic or the natural direction of the thread? The next bead is the one that you're going to put that through, 1.
And that's to one of the triangle beads?
E.
Okay.
So now that looks a little bit awkward. The next one that we're going to do is the handle color bead and then the ulu colored bead. So again, whoops. The next one, the next bead that I'm going to put this through is, there's the direction of my thread right here. And here's the next bead that I'm going to use and put this through. And it's just the 1. So now when you put this through and look at it, you may need to just correct it and pull it a little bit firm so that you have the 2, and those are the 2 eyes. Whoops. The 2 eyes that'll be in the ulu.
So just to be clear, you're picking up 2 beads and you're going to go to the next open bead. Like, is that the one that's closest beside it? Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, thanks.
Once we get this part onto the next part, it's going to be a lot easier. You'll be able to see things better. The last 2 that you're going to pick up on this are the same color as the ulu. In my case, that's gray. And this is where it can be a little tricky for some people.
What bead are you at? How many beads should you have on there now?
before I put on these last two, there are 2, 4, 7.
And I'm on 5.
Okay, so then your next 2 will be the color of the handle and the color of the ulu.
Okay.
Whoops. So the last 2 beads that are go on here will be the top of the ulu. And this is where you're going to put it through the next 2, not just 1, but 2.
Which one do I put it on?
That one.
And this one?
It's a circle.
So this is the next 2. That your needle will come out at the first colored, the eye colored handle one. It will be easier. It will be easier.
Bottom looks like it needs to move up.
Well, you can't.
Hold on.
I need to do the 3 that you just did, please.
Actually, it's the 2.
Oh, it's 2?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to do those 2, please.
So when you put those, okay, hold on. I got to take this. It went through the wrong place. Well, it didn't go through the wrong place, but it's sitting wrong. So these last 2 beads here are the same color as the ulu.
Okay.
And this will go through the next 2 beads.
Oh, yeah. The next 2, which 2?
In the natural direction of the
thread?
yeah.
Okay.
And your needle should come out. Your needle should come out right next to this first eye bead. You see where my thread is? This is where your needle should come out.
Yeah, okay. I got it, but it doesn't look right, but that's where it came out to.
Let's see what it looks like. Is this Sandra?
No, it's Mina.
Mina?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look. And I see with yours there, the part that's sticking out, I want you to just flatten it. Stick your thumbnail in between those 2 so that they go into the square. Because they're wanting to go straight, I want you to separate them. And then it'll look better. As you're pulling on your thread. Yes, there you go. That's right. Sandra, that looks good.
That good?
Yep.
Oh.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So now,
Oh my.
this is a different color that maybe you can all have a better look at. Whoops. Let's put it flat. Does that look better? Is everybody's looking like this?
No.
Who's talking?
Kaylee, I think her name is, had a question in the chat. She's saying that she doesn't think her thread is long enough.
Is it about 1 meter long?
It was, but I think what happened was I was having such a hard time threading the needle, and then I didn't take the beads all the way down.
Actually, you'll be okay, because really it's about 2/3 of 1 meter.
I've got not much. We'll see.
It's actually not as much. We won't use as much thread as you think.
Okay. I'll see what happens. I'll do as much as I can, then I'll get Francis to help me.
So at this point, is everybody comfortable in that spot?
Can you have a look at mine, please?
Okay. Yes, there you go. It just needed that little flattening out to separate the 2 beads, hey?
Okay, thanks.
So now this is where it gets a lot easier. Oh, is that my light that's doing that?
Really sunny there, or what's happening? But your phone camera is still fine.
Yeah, okay. So now what we're going to do is you'll notice that every place where we put 2 beads, that's an actual corner. And that's why I like looking at this, at the finished product. And you see this natural line that goes through here, here, and here? That's where there's 2 beads added on each one of those corners. Toki CD. So that brings us out to here, and that is a corner. So we need to add 2 beads for this corner, and they're going to be the same color as the ulu. So in my case, that's 2 gray. And you're putting that, whoops, my thread became, and I think I've got a very high ceiling in my my place. That's what happened with the light. I think the light was shining down in that one spot. So now you've got 2 beads, and you're going to put that through the next bead, which is the eye colored, well, what I'm calling the eye colored, right there. At this point, you will want to make sure that those are not, because this is what will confuse people, is if it tries to be straight like this. And then, well, with these 2, when they're like this, it makes it really difficult to see what's going on there. So just give it a little tug when that happens, and it'll go back in the place that it should be, which are side by side instead of on top of one another.
Are we just putting it through 1 bead?
Yes.
Okay.
Once you have those 2 on, you're going to take just 1 bead of the ulu color and put it in between there. So the peyote stitch is on the premise that the 1 bead on top of another bead. So it's almost like we're creating bricks, except so now I've just put the 1 bead through the next hole, and I've come up to the next corner. And I don't want anybody to be frustrated with this. So if you have any questions, or if I've lost you, please let me know and I can help you through it.
So on the corners, you're adding 2 beads, and then when you're going along each side, you're basically adding 1 bead.
That's correct. So by the time that we are gone all the way around here, it's going to look like this. So I'm at the 2nd quarter, and I'm adding 2 ulu colored beads into the next hole. And I'm trying to make sure this is in focus as well. Oh. So this is where I'm at a corner, and I'm putting 2 beads in that 1 hole. This is such a nice clear picture right now. Yay. So this is what I was talking about, one on top of the other, where it doesn't look right until you pull it, give it a little bit of a tug. It doesn't look like they're one on top of, or it doesn't look like it's side by side. It looks like they are on top of one another. You see that? When that happens, you just give it a little bit of a tug, just like that. And then it falls correctly so that the beads are side by side instead of on top of one another. And that may have been what has screwed people up. The next part is the important step. We're going to start adding the background. So your next bead is going to be your background. In my case, this is white. And again, we're going to go put this through the next bead. Trying to keep that little loose piece under control is where it's going to start getting maddening for you. So this is before we do the third corner, what it looks like.
When you say the next bead, I don't know what bead that is.
The bead
The
next
next.
to where the class, yeah. Hey, look, see, look at that.
Yeah, it's going good.
So this is, okay, so let me see what you had there.
See,
That's the one I just put on, that white
Yeah,
one.
so go to the
Oops.
next-
Put that through the
Oops.
next corner, one bead of the next corner.
the top one.
Yeah. Real Inuk guys.
Oh my.
You're not listening to her.
Here, look, here.
Next
This one?
one.
I don't understand the next one.
You're gonna end, it's gonna look like this.
That one.
This one?
That one.
This one?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Ah,
So we did, sorry, we did background one, and then the next one is what?
2 ulu colored.
2 ulu, thank you.
And that is going to be the third corner that we're doing here. And there's a reason why I'm counting the corners, and you'll see when we get back to the beginning of what this one is. So again, this is the third corner. You're putting 2 ulu colors. And this is where, for me, what I call it, this is standing on top of it instead of side by side. And this is where people can get confused when that happens. So you can either give it a tug or you can just put your finger in between them. So that it does that, and that they're side by side.
We couldn't see what you were doing.
Oh,
We just
sorry.
see your fingers.
I put my thumb in between the two. When they were
Thumb
underneath one another, I used my thumbnail to go in between the two so that they go side by side instead of on top of one another.
And did you go, what did you go through? Which bead did you go back through?
The corner one, the last corner one. So right there,
I think so.
yeah. This next bead that we're doing is the last bead in this circle, and it's going to be the same as the background. The last bead that you go through on each one of these rounds, you're always going to go through 2 beads. So that's, you'll see here, and it's going to be a little bit, it'll almost bend your needle trying to go through both of them. And you're going to go through those 2 like that. So that you're coming up in a corner. So you're going through, so this is what it looks like before I put the needle through. And I'm putting the needle through the next one and the corner one. Na maksiba. And Joanne, I love being patient because this is, I've been where you guys are before just starting, and it helps so much having a visual. I'm a visual learner like most Inuit are, and by having a reference, a point of reference really helps. So is everybody at this stage now, or do you need some help?
Amy got her needle stuck in the,
Oh,
through
I
the
got it.
beads. Oh, she just got it through. Okay.
Apikik sa kakpin. No?
May mayadak yung ali.
So now, if everybody is ready, we're going to go on to this one. And you'll see that it's really taking shape here, and it'll be the top of the ulu handle that we're going to start, and seeing more of the background, which will give you more of a reference point as well. So now we are here. The next, we came up in a corner, so we need to do a corner which is 2 ulu color, 2 ulu color beads, and you're putting it in your first corner there, only through 1. And I'm going to hold it like this for a moment so that everybody else sees. As soon as I get my angles right. And again, this is the bad thing about Delica beads. It wants to stand on one. So what I do is just kind of either put my thumb or the needle through there and give it a tug, and then it will be side by side instead of on top of one another. For this bottom portion, the next 2 will be one bead in each one of those over to the next corner. So this is like underneath the eyepieces of the ulu, and you're going to put 1 bead in each. Right over to the corner. And
Ulu color?
Oba, this is the ulu color.
Okay, thanks.
I guess I could have shut that email down. Close window. The next corner that we're doing is 2 ulu colored beads. And again, this is a corner, so right in there. And it's coming out just before the white background. Since you have the needle through multiple strings, is it better to have a flexible? Yes and no. You can have a flexible needle. I found with flexible needles that they will tend to go through the thread, which will make the thread fray. That's never fun. I try and hold this thread into the back, the bottom, as I'm going around, or I'll use it between my 2 fingers. So this is my working thread, and I use that one just to hang on to. So the next part, we're going to do the background colors. And this is 1 bead and then another background bead. Right up to the top of this corner. So this is what it will look like. Once we get to the top of this corner, which is the last corner, we're going to do 2 beads of the handle color. So this is what we're doing now, 2 beads of the handle color in that top corner. Is everybody okay with it at that point? Now the next thing that we're going to do is the same as the other side, which is the background 1 and 1 on each side of this white one. So 1. Veronica, I'm totally lost after 9 beads. I'm going to have to go through it. Veronica, did you say that you were here in Yellowknife?
No, no, not anymore.
Okay. I could just show you. I think that if you had the photos, it would be easier. And so if you scroll up and keep those photos open at the same time, and you'll see that the one that page has called Ulu Earring Progressions. If you open that up, it'll show each one of these stages that we're going through.
Okay.
You go through the last 2 beads to that corner, right?
That's right.
Okay.
The last one always has the 2 beads going through.
Thank
And
you. Sorry.
that's all right. At this point, this is where things get a lot easier because the colors are separating everything. So again, this is going to be through those last two beads. And you can see it's a little, it's very natural for it to go in there. Maybe I should move that out of the way. So it's so that the bead comes, or the needle comes out in the corner. Is it okay if I call for a 5-minute air break?
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Yes.
I'm hearing a lot of consensus.
Always like
Mhm.
by consensus, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 beads in the net instead of 1. That's good because I just messed this up by putting 2 beads on that last one instead of just 1, so I have to fix it.
No worries.
You will continue?
I never thought to play with the background colors, so I'm really liking my colors this time.
Francis, what colors are you using now?
Everybody here, I think that I can, it'll be a lot easier now. Oh, let me see if I can. I'm looking at my phone. I think you're pinned, Paige.
I will put your screen back on the spotlight so everyone can see you. And that should be, is that better?
Everybody should be right now. Is everybody at this point, or does anybody have any questions before we go on to the next part? And no, you're not disrupting anybody. That's right, Paige. You're helping us. The next part that we're going to do is going to look like this. So your next 2 on this corner are again still going to be the ulu color. Let me pick those up before I get you in focus. And you're going through that one corner there. So you're creating a corner with 2 beads. And this is what it's going to look like. And you're going to keep doing the bottom of the ulu in the ulu color with 1 bead. Over to the next corner. This is where you're going to find that the it's a lot easier to follow what we're doing because we can see the actual ulu coming about. Sorry, I'm trying to show as well as see myself because my phone, I'm doing this about a foot away from my eyes, and I'm actually using the laptop screen to see what I'm doing.
Wow.
You're good.
You're doing really well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Need one of those glasses with like the magnifying part on it.
This is what it looks like now that we've come over to the next corner. And now that we're at the corner, we're doing 2 beads of the ulu color. And that's what it's going to look like before we start going up the side with the background color. And you can see it going along now is a lot easier than it was in the beginning. It's that the first 3 rows that I find can be a little confusing. And we're doing now the background colors, which will be 3 of them. If everybody's keeping up okay, do you want me to speed up a little bit more now, or do you want me to keep slowing down? How's everybody feeling about that? I'm going to take the silence as, yeah, you can speed up. Oh, okay. Now I'm at the top of the ulu, the next corner. I'm doing 2 of the handle colored now. So this will be 2 beads on this corner of the ulu color, or the handle color. Went too fast, now I'm lost. Okay, just let me show this to you as a reference. So once we got those corners, the 2 bottom corners of the ulu, and then we're coming up onto the top of the handle. After you do that last corner of the ulu, you're going to do 3 background color beads. Does that, are you still lost? Do you want me to back up or take it apart so that I get to where you are? So at the top, I'm going to show my camera. Okay, show your camera.
Olivia, you can keep just typing in the chat box if you want. I'm not sure if your camera works or not as well, but you can also like upload photos into the chat if you're having trouble turning your camera on. There we go.
Are you still on mute? Maybe you need to unmute yourself.
I think she had this problem in our workshop last week as well. Oh, but yeah. There we go.
Oh, I see a file. Oh, you're doing okay. So what you're actually doing okay. So you need to do your corner next. 2 ulu, or no, one more. Okay, I see what you're using seed beads. You need to do, you went through 2 beads early. So back your thread up. So take your thread back out to the last, where you added your last background. I think where you're still at, Olipi, is right here. And this is where we're going next. This is what it'll look like. Yes, you do need to take a bead off. if you scroll up to the very top, or not very top, but at the chat box, and you see, how do I share? I'd like to be able to share. Oh, hold on. Let's see.
Share it again.
No, I want to see if I can put it on the screen.
Okay. Let me see. I'm not sure if I allowed people to share screens, but I can share my screen.
Okay.
Mine.
Oh,
Right.
sorry, I've got somebody at my door. I have to run down there. 1 moment.
Okay, I will share my screen in a second. Let me just pull up the picture. Don't want to share all my emails and stuff too. Okay. Can you all see this picture? So I think Olipika, maybe you're at the stage. This one. Okay. I cannot give you any advice, so we'll just wait for Gerri to come back. But this is what it looks like if you're wondering.
I got more beads. Okay, perfect. Olipi, can you show me yours again? I'm not sure where your camera is. Okay, so, okay, hold on to the top of that. So I can see the bottom. I want you to hold on to the top. One, two, three. Okay, so your next one is going, you are, you've added more in there than needs to be added somewhere along the bottom. And I think it was on the row previous. So I think what may have happened with yours, Olipi, is if you look at the screen that page is sharing, on your third row, which is the top right, I think that you may have added, you may have got turned around. That looks where the error is. Are you able to take it apart till it looks like that? Look at the video again. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna stop screen sharing. Is that okay?
Yep. So once we are all at the top of the handles, we're going to put in two of the handle colored at the top corner. So that it looks like this. And then of course you're going to come down the right side of that so that there are 3 background color. In my case, that's 3 white. One. And the third one is where I'm going to be going through 2 beads to the corner. And it will look like this. And this is where you have to go through 2 beads at that last corner. So I just need to get my needle straight. So that it's like this. So always when you're on that last corner, you're coming up to the last 2 beads. And it's going to look like this. At this point, our next, I want to get these out of the way. This is the one, whoops. This is the one that we're doing next. And it's going to look a little bit, it's not going to look like what you think the ulu should look like, but it will by the finished product. So the next 2 that we're doing on this corner are the ulu colored. So 2 ulu colored beads in this corner. And so this is definitely in the corner, 2 beads. And then we're going to go straight across the bottom in the ulu colored bead. So it'll be 4 beads ulu colored. It will be like this. If it starts to go like this, you'll see the thread. Hold on. When that thread tends to be like that, you need to give it a good little jerk so that it goes into place. And if it doesn't, then that means that you caught the thread in which I did. Now, if you don't correct that, it won't sit in there properly because you want it to sit all nice and snug in there. It's almost like putting it in a little pocket. One, 2, 3, and then the 4th one. The 4th one is coming up onto that next corner. And again, that next corner is going to be 2 ulu colored beads. This is what it will look like. The next colored bead that you're doing is an ulu colored bead. So 1 ulu colored bead before the background. So
A background color or ulu color?
ulu color. So after those 2 corners, or after the corner piece that I did, I'm doing 1 ulu colored bead.
Okay.
And then 2 background colored beads. And when I say 2, I mean 1 spot, 1 spot.
Yep. Thanks.
So in my case, I'm doing one yellow whites. So this is where I'm at now. This is before I come to the last corner. The next color that I'm doing is the handle colored ulu, or a handle colored bead. In my case, this is brown into that last corner. At the top of the last corner, I'm going to do 2 handle colored beads. So this is 2 handle colored beads that I'm doing. And this is what it'll look like. And then I'm going to do the exact same to the other side. So 1 handle colored bead, white ulu colored, down to the last corner. So this will be handle, background, background, ulu, to the last corner. So handle, background, background, with the last bead going into the last corner being the ulu colored. So this is going into those last 2 beads on the corner. Oh, come on, get in there. I can't see. Sorry, I gotta see it. There. So this is the last 2 in the corner, last 2 beads, and this is the ulu colored bead. Whoops. And this is what it looks like. Is everybody at this stage? Does anybody have any questions? The one that we're now moving on to is going to be this one. And this is where your ulu is going to start taking shape and your corners start to become the background. So the next 2 that we're doing now, the next 2 beads in this corner are background color. In my case, this is white. And now we do the ulu colored beads right over to the next corner. It seems so unnatural for it to be so quiet.
I'm laughing over here because I am not quiet. I'm trying to do homework with my son as I watch this, and my side is not quiet. I muted for your benefit. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think some people may have left for dinner or maybe to watch this another time. So I think now that there's a few less people, we can kind of chat a little bit more relaxed.
So at this point, I'm at the second corner, and I'm going to do 2 background colored beads. I think it's amazing that we're able to do these workshops like this right across Canada for all of Inuit. I really do. It's awesome. Thank you for doing that.
I'm so happy that we have so many talented people across the country that can lead these workshops. And bye, Veronica.
Okay, bye-bye.
Gerri. Qujanamiik Toronto Inuit Association for this. I've got to go. Bye.
Thanks for joining, Joanna. I think our next few workshops will be open to everyone as well. We're trying to connect more people.
So if we show what we're doing next for the colors, you're going to see that we're going to do 1 ulu color, 2 background, 2 handle, and up to the corner. So 1 background or 1 ulu, 2 background, 2 handle. And that's going to bring us to the next corner. 1 ulu, 2 background, 2 handle. So after this corner, 1 ulu, 1 ulu colored, then we go to background, background. One more background. And 2 handle colored. So handle, handle. This is where the diagram is going to come in really easy for people too. This is what it will look like at the top of that next corner. At the top of this corner, we're going to put 2 background colored beads. In my case, that's white. Paige, I have to say, I'm really glad that this is 2 hours because I would have felt rushed trying to do this in 1 hour. I like going slower for people.
It's so nice. I think everyone really appreciates going step by step like this.
This is what we're at now. And we're going to do the same going down, which is 2 background color. I'm sorry, 2 handle color, 2 background, 1 ulu. And that's going to bring us to the next corner. It's the exact same that we just did on that other side. What we do to one side, we do to the other side when it comes to the handle. I'm sorry, the ulu. So background, background, ulu, handle.
Sorry, I'm a little bit slow because I'm struggling with my whites. They won't go flat. So I'm a little bit longer on my corners, but I've got this corner done. Sorry, I've got this corner done. So what's next? Sorry.
Let me see where you're at. Can you show me?
Probably not. This camera's not very good.
It actually, you're going down that side. You're going to do exactly the same that we just did on the other side, which is 2 handle colors.
Okay.
Background, 1 ulu.
Thank you.
Okay. So now we're going to go handle color, handle color, background, background, so this is what happens to me when it starts to fray, is that I catch little pieces. And that happens. So the last one, the last colored bead before the last corner is going to be ulu colored. And then again into the last two beads. And thank you, Francis. So this is where I'm at the end of this. I just gotta open up my pop. And you can really see the ulu taking shape now, as well as the background. This is where I next find that visual helps. We've got 2 more rows to do to complete the ulu. This is what we're doing next. So we're going to do the corner being the background, and then doing 1 more background. This is why I like doing visual. I find watching is so much easier than hearing or reading a pattern. I want to see it. So there, and then we're doing one more background after that corner. Once we've got that one background in, we're going to do 4 ulu color next.
So maybe I'll take this time to mention that for our beading workshops, if you join in the future, we might be able to send out beading materials to you. Francis has been really great about mailing packages to people on the East Coast, Halifax, in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. So thank you so much, Francis. And TIA, we've been mailing or biking and delivering or driving and delivering packages to people in Toronto and the Greater Toronto area. We definitely can send out things further, or we can maybe find another Inuit organization to mail them out to you. We have been meeting pretty regularly online with like all the other urban Inuit organizations. So we're looking to send supplies to as many people as possible. So just email me or email or message whoever works at your local urban Inuit organization, and that might be able to help you. So yeah, I know some of you have the beading packages right now. Jessica's interested. Awesome. Cool.
Once you've got the 4 colored or 4 ulu colored beads in, you're next going to do a background colored bead before your last corner, or the next corner, I should say. Your next corner is 2 background colored. And then going up on the side of this one, it's going to be 1 background, 1 ulu, 2 background, 1 handle, 1 background. Again, 1 background, 1 ulu, 2 background, 1 handle, 1 background. That's what I love about those patterns ahead of time page. I'm gonna jump ahead to, no, I'm not. Haha. So 1 background, 1 ulu, 2 background, after doing the 2 background, we're going to do 1 handle, and I think I got that in the wrong place. I did 2. Paige, is it going to cut us right off at 5, or is it okay if we're a little bit beyond that?
No, we can be on here as long as we want. But I'm sure some people might need to leave for dinner or stuff.
I am going to try and Frobby, without being too fast.
Do we want to take a group picture now? Anybody? Yes? No? Francis
in there too.
That's me. Are we good? I might pause the recording now and take a photo, and then we'll get back to beading, just in case people have to leave.
This was background, Ulu, background. And then we got one handle colored bead. And then one background colored bead before we're at the top of this corner. And that's what it'll look like. So that was background, Ulu colored, background, handle, background colored. At the top of this, we're going to do two background colored.
Mine's wrong for some reason. Can't figure it
out. I'm trying to, I need to click on you so I can see it. I can't see yours.
Is it Peggy?
Yeah.
Let's see. I think with the virtual background, if you like put your hand in.
I know.
There we go.
The virtual background is annoying.
Put it more to the center.
Can't focus. Oh.
Actually, just hold it still. I can still see it. You're doing okay. So now you did the two background.
You see how it's coming out here?
Sorry? Yeah. Oh, what you did was you might have gone through the wrong bead. So just take that last bead out.
Okay.
And put it in again. And I think you'll see it's the right place. The pattern that you have going on there is correct. It looks like that it might have been placed in the wrong bead.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think.
Once you put it in, it'll make, hold it up again. Take that bead out and take out the next bead. I think it was that's where it was on the next one. It went through the wrong bead. And now let me have a look.
Oh my God. Where am I?
In the center, yeah. Pull it back a little bit closer to you. Yep, right there. So now.
This is getting in the way.
You got two. Oh, I see what's going on there. I think it might have been the row beforehand. It's actually, if you put it against your back, your shirt, I can see it. And now hold the bottom, please.
Which bottom?
Of the ulu.
Maybe I should turn it around this way. Shoot. Sorry.
Actually, if you hold the bottom of by the ulu and then put your hand behind it again. So now your next one, you've got ulu colored background. Your next one is handle. And then, so you're doing one handle colored and then one background colored. Yeah. So now,
How do I take the virtual background off? I wonder I'm on an iPhone.
yeah, good question. I don't know.
It will make it so much simpler. Like if you can get it up here, a lot easier around my face or something. It's weird.
What you should do now is
You say it's in the previous row that I'm wrong?
green. No, actually, it looks like it's okay. So what you're doing next is a handle colored and then a back colored.
Okay. All right. Thank you. You're so patient.
So now we're at the top of this row, and I've done 2 background. And when I go down, I'm going to do 1 background colored, 1 handle colored, 2 background, 1 ulu. So 1 background, 1 handle colored, 2 background colored, two background colors, 1 ulu colored, with the last one being 1 background colored before I go into the 2 last beads in the corner. And this is what it will look like. Peggy, did yours straighten out for you? Are you shaking your head no? You are? I think you're yours apart to that last row. There might be something going on in that last row.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Now, the good thing is with that picture, that page sent step by step, you can see the pictures of the ulus.
Yeah, right.
And then you can follow it that way. That's actually how I learned to do these.
Okay.
By following, I actually had to decipher through looking at an earring like this, and it took some practice.
Okay.
I'm glad that you like the classes, Esther. And thank you about my tattoos. You probably can't see my face very well, but I probably have more on my face than I do my hands. Including here. So there is, yeah, I have substantial tattoos.
Wow. I'm jealous.
I should be getting my first soon. I'm so excited.
Who's going to do it?
Aksanik, she's pretty young from Nunavik. Yeah,
Nice.
so she's learning. Woo.
So for everybody that is at this point, the last row that we do before the actual borders is going to look like this now. Hold on. Yeah. This is what we're going to do now before the borders. So now we're going to do 2 background colors for the corner. After we do the corner part, 2 background colors. I'm sorry that you're having, I'm hoping that it's not the video connections here in Yellowknife, which it entirely could be.
I have spotlighted the video, so I think when you spotlight video, that means like everyone can see it as a big screen.
I think it's just my video, like my internet connection, because I literally can't see anybody right now except for myself, which is not really that great.
That's too bad. Well, it'll definitely show up on the recording.
So after we do the 2 background colors, we're going to do 3 Ulu colored beads next. I need to see the photo. I want to see the photo. Oh, I like it. Yay. And everybody's holding up the Ulus. So after you do the 3 Ulu colored earrings, we're going to do 2 background colored beads.
I'm sorry, Gerri. I got a little behind. I think I'm at the bottom corner now. How many background until we start the Ulu color?
2.
2?
So
Thank you.
2 background, 3 Ulu, 2 background will bring you to the next corner.
Okay. Fennec.
Of course, once you get to that corner, we're going to do 2 background colored beads in the corner. Once we've got that corner, around that corner there, you're next going to do background colored beads all the way up to the top. So that's going to be background all the way up. When we get to the top of this one, I'm going to show you something. Only because of time. Now that I'm at the top of this one, I'm going to finish this one as if I'm not doing a background. So I'm going to show you how I do the, so if I were already at the end here, your next 2 rows after we're done this would be a solid color. And I want to show you what I do to that top portion on the last row. And I'm going to pretend that's where we're at here. So at the top, before I treat it like a corner, but this is not, I've not done the corner pieces yet. I'm going to add 8 beads to my needle. Eight. Now, I have 8 beads on my needle, and I'm going to pretend that this is the same as the last row that you guys are doing, but it's not if you are carrying on to do the background color. And I'm going to go through this top portion as I would if I were treating it like a corner. Now, what I like to do once I get here is I go in that back portion again, just to double line them all, just to reinforce the strength of this. So I'm going to go up this way. But do you see where I put the needle in? Before I finish this part, does anybody have any questions? Now, when I come back up here, I'm going to go back down in here, and now I've just doubled that because this will be where I attach the earring, the fish hook earring part. And if you decide to put a border on, this is what you'll do at the top. If you are putting a border on at this point, you're only going to do the corner as you would with the rest of them. So I want this to come out in the same area that it would had if I was doing a regular corner. And again, going all the way down, it's going to be the background color. And you're going to do the background color right down to the corner, to the last 2. If you're wanting to put a border on your Ulu. You can use any color that you'd like, and you'll just go around the Ulu with that same colored bead all the way around for 2 rows. And the reason why you're doing 2 rows is if you only do one, you'll still have half the background showing as white. So again, this is at the very end where we're putting this through the last 2 beads in this corner. Now this is my trick when ending this. Right now I need to end this here, or as if I'm tying it off. So of course with beading, you're not going to be able to tie a knot. So you're going to go back to the bead that you just went through. And I do this twice. 1, 2. And that's almost as if I'm tying a knot. And here's the tricky part again. I'm going to lead the needle through a number of beads here. It's almost like tying it in. Like that. So this, I do at least 5 or 6 that I go through. And I'll put the needle right through all the way. Ouch. So now it looks like that. It's almost to the center, and then I cut it. This is like tying a knot. In beadwork, it is not going to come out. And if you're wondering what we're going to do with this tail here that we started with, I'm going to do the exact same thing that I just did with the other part. And I start to lead the needle through 5 or 6. And this is what I normally do, and this is just me. You can do this as you like. I'll put the needle in like this without it being threaded, because sometimes it's not long enough. And then I thread the bead or the needle. Of course, it doesn't want to be easy.
I feel like that's the hardest part for me, especially on a sewing machine, is threading the needle.
That's why it's part of the game up in Inuvik. To stand in line and thread the beading needle.
Oh my goodness.
Going jamboree.
One day I'll go back for that.
So this is, now that I've got it threaded, I've got it through 4 or 5 different beads, and I'm just going to pull it right through. It can be a little tight. If it is, just take your pliers and pull. We're going to pull that nice and straight like that. And again, I'm going to trim it over here. And that is never, ever going to come out. This is what you end up with. And in order to put the little finding on, the earring finding, this is why you need your pliers. You take this part there, and you're going to pull towards you a little. To open up this. Ooh. You're going to open up that there like that. And then stick this on there. I'm going to tell you ahead of time, if you are using Delica Beads, when you go to close this, take your time and don't rush it. Delica beads are very delicate and you will break them. You don't want to get them stuck in between the pliers, so very gently make sure that they're out of the way when you go to close your you're finding. And you're just going to go like that. Now, you will find that you need to go in between them. You're going to go very, very, very gently because you do not want to break those delicate Delica beads. They are very fine tubes of glass. You can stop at this point if you like, or like I said, you can put 2 rows of a color to make that as a border, in which case it would look like this. Anybody have any questions at all?
So for the circular part at the top, it's 8 beads together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll hang all nice and swing as well.
Yay, those look so awesome.
And it takes me about half an hour to make one set. But then again, I've been doing this a long time.
Yes, yes. Practice makes perfect, for sure. How's everyone else doing? Maybe
When you do the 8 beads for attaching it to the earring, do you do it after you've done the border or before you do the border?
On the last row of the border, you can do it without the border or with the border. Whenever you choose to do it, I do those 8 beads on the top of the last row.
Okay.
So, without the border, that's why I did it at the top when we were there.
Mm-hmm.
The border, I would have done that at the top when I was there as well.
Okay. Thanks.
Where would you start your border? On a corner or a straightaway?
Yes. On the corner. So you saw me end it at this corner. When I put, if I hadn't ended it, I would have continued around as I would with 2 beads in the corner or in the border color.
Okay.
So you see on this one here, I'll give you a close up. See the 2 corner beads, 2 corner beads, and that is 2 rows.
Do you do a row of all background beads and then the border beads?
No.
No. Okay.
So this one here, the last row that we just did, the bottom portion is the bottom of the Ulu. And then the rest of the sides were background.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions at all?
This has been awesome.
I'm so happy to do it. And I think 2 hours is just a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the recording's only about 2 hours long because we had to wait for a few people to trickle in. We did some introductions. So yeah, that was a great amount of time. So happy you were all able to stay and learn with us. And I don't know if you follow us on Facebook or Instagram, but we would love to see your finished products, and I'm sure Gerri would too. So you can always take pictures. Ooh, that's amazing.
This is also a Peyote Stitch.
Yes. Yes. Oh, Jessica, hopefully you won't be in multitask mode some other time when you. Oh.
Well, if you want me to do any more workshops, I love doing them. So.
Yay! Yeah, it's so great to see all your
Thank you so much, guys. This was lovely. I'm glad I got to sort of almost get distracted from this one.